loved his people. He loved the Aboriginal people. He loved everybody. Yeah, he loved to lead, and that's what he loved to do.
I'd like to say a special thank you to my dear wife and my family over there on table 39, who are my Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Did your dad have a view on the best thing he ever did for Sturt?
He did. My mother told me about 2 or 3 months later what he'd said, and he said that the best work he did for Sturt was in the bedroom. I was very proud of that.
Tell me, who belted you in 61? Is that
Roberts.
Victorian in the room?
Neil Roberts, yeah.
Oh, he's here. We might square up at the back later.
He asked in a team meeting, we were playing St Kilda, and he said, who wants to stand on Tony Lockett? And to this day, Jared, I do not know why, my hand shot up in the air. It started getting really cloudy and really quite dark. And we're winning, and he's kicked 1, I think, maybe 2. I look over and he's looking around like this. And I think he's surely going to belt me. He's going to smash me. The next minute he took a step towards me, so I'm standing here. He goes, looks down at me, and he leant down and he said, looks like we're going to get a bit of rain.
After the grand final, I remember I was struggling, so I went out and celebrated till about 1 a.m. and had a good time, and I come back to the hotel room with my wife because I was battling a bit and struggling to breathe, and I rung the doctor, and the doctor goes to me, what the bloody hell do you think I can do? He said, I am drunk as a skunk. And he said, here, pass the phone to your wife, will you? And I passed the phone to Claire, and he said to Claire, look, if his lung collapses, just ring an ambulance, will you?
Triple Premiership player Nigel Lappin, the last of 6 inductees. It's always a special night. You two gentlemen, Dermot Brereton and Tony Shaw, both members of the Hall of Fame. And it's not just those that are inducted, it's the room. And you saw the cutaways. Everywhere you move within the room is superstars.
Oh, it is a wonderful night. It's my favourite night of the year because it's the only AFL function you go to, Shorey, when nobody's in competition with anyone else. They actually are there to celebrate the deeds of the people who have been celebrated on the evening.
And their journeys too, isn't it? It's all about the families and that have played a part in their journeys. Sure.
Well, Maurice Rioli, he's probably the best Indigenous player I thought I've ever seen playing the game. There's been a lot of greats, but Nigel Lappin, Lee Matthews said, the most courageous player he's ever coached, as in what pain he could go through as in running, other than getting belted, and what he went through in that grand final.
I had a chat with the great Verdon Howe as well, and told him his name was mentioned often in the Hawthorn club rooms because you come out of the showers and somebody had pinched your Verdon Howe, your towel.
Oh, God. I
was chatting to him for quite some time beforehand. He was one of the all-time greats.
And also some stars from SANFL and Waffle, Ray Sorrell, Bagshaw. So they're recognised, and Ben Hart also had some great stories to tell. So there's certainly been some stars. And there's plenty in action. I reckon Buddy Franklin might make the Hall of Fame one day. And maybe even these little kids who get to enjoy it. And who loves the wet more than kids? They can get out there and have a run around in the NAB Oz kick. No doubt the place to be is undercover. There's plenty here. Obviously not as many as there would have been if it had been a fine sunny day, but they've all huddled up and waiting for the third quarter to get underway. The Swans in tight. The Demons just going through their last paces before the third term begins. And Barry Hall's down there just braving the elements like the big tough man that he is. Hawley, what are you expecting in this third term?
Oh, look, it's wet, tight and tough, Hutto, and nothing's going to change. The weather's certainly set in, but the Swans are a well-oiled tackle machine. We spoke about the tackle record, 142, round 10 in 2010. Richmond had 142 tackles, and look, the Swans are on 87 at half-time, so that record is very much in danger. And when you've got your forwards like Heaney had 9 tackles, Buddy Franklin, who you don't really expect too much out of in terms of tackling and putting on pressure, he's had 5 himself. So the forwards are doing their job. We know they love to tackle in the midfield, so the Swans, they love tackling and they're doing it pretty well today.
They are, and it's helped them get to a 17-point lead as we start the third quarter. Do you think Melbourne, as we look at Alir, who's done a pretty good job in his second game, can make any positional changes, Derm, or is it more just doing what they were doing but doing it better?
As we have a look at the radar and all the weather coming in, I just think Sydney have been more efficient up forward because they're throwing more things at the Melbourne defence. Melbourne's attack is very one-dimensional.
So into the third quarter, Gawn with a tap to try and give them the sprightly start they needed. Vandenberg, a big swish with the foot. And it was dangerous, the umpire said. So instead of it going Melbourne's way, it's been McGlynn.
That's weird, though. The foot never endangered the parade. The ball kicked into him.
Franklin. Hanbury in the perfect position. Now surely can't shape it back for a goal. It almost fell for Heaney. It did. And then he was dragged down, given plenty of latitude by the umpire.
Oh, under the ankle.
Yep.
Well, you've got to keep your feet down. We'd spoken about it in the second quarter.
I know, it's just... We're still in the era of players who were brought up charging at the footy. Now, Bernie Vince, this...
No.
I know, well, if you look at Bernie's age...
He's 30 years of age.
Yeah, late 20s, 30 years of age. That rule came in about 3 years ago. His entire life has been dive for the footy, put your nose over it.
Well, Kieran Jack does him a real favour.
Yeah.
And in moments of pressure like this, when a goal's on the line, he's going to resort to what he was taught as a kid. I know you've got to.
Oh, you've got to pay it, but that's the other issue. Buddy Franklin was 1-on-2 just before when the ball came forward, and at ground level, the Swans have done it better. They're playing to that 1-on-2.
Yep.
So that's why they're getting deep entries into their forward line, the Swans.
Gawn palmed it down. Trengo back to the wing. Outstretched hands, Rampy. Went a second time. Got it away from a frustrated Hogan. He's starting to just boil a little. Good fist from Heaney for Rose to Franklin on the bounce. Which way? You know he's going to quickly turn if he can, but he just couldn't get the handle on it. Somehow stayed alive with Rose, who was trying to work out in his head what to do. The message didn't quite get through.
I like the way he goes about it, though.
He's one of those ones who I said they've thrown more at the Melbourne defence than in reverse.
Well, this one's...
Rose has been one of those players. He's given that Melbourne defence something to think about. He's been very lively. He moves around a lot, so it's not as if he's a big target and you know the ball's going to be directed to him. He's going to find the footy.
Oliver to the wing. Nice little handoff from Hogan to Viney, and now Watts.
He's trying to manhandle Alir.
It doesn't get that far again because McVeigh was on the spot with Hanbury. And the Swans can really stretch out. Heaney takes the grab. Franklin calling for it deepest. Instead, he tries to go via Rowe, and they've got numbers everywhere. Here's Rose again. He fastened a kick out of there. Swans everywhere. The handball comes Buddy's way, and he can stride into goal for another.
Well, again, another contest where 2 to 3 Melbourne players go at it. Now, it's great to think that, but you've got to be aware of what's around you. And as soon as you do that, you get out of the contest. They have done it better than you can just see here. Just a nice kick over the top. They've got players forward everywhere here. And lucky there, because Rose, again, I thought he might have messed that up, but he had enough strength to hold his body and keep his feet. Just getting 2 easy goals where Melbourne are struggling to do it at the other end.
Franklin's second goal. Kieran Jack was just able to handle the conditions well enough to provide the assist. And the margin stretches to a game-high 24, and it could build even further, particularly if it can't handle marks like that, as difficult as it is. Viney tried to provide the relief, but McGlynn will send it back in again. Mitchell, strong body work. Well counted, but they're lining up Mitchell or Rose. Maybe got in each other's way a fraction there.
You know what? That was, and I don't blame John Longmire, that was quite selfish on that occasion.
From Tommy Mitchell?
Yep.
Should have shepherded. And
he was second cab off the rank. He needed to tell his teammate he was being guarded, he was being shepherded, soccer it through.
Made Vince wear one there with a handball at the top. Hunt with that dash that he's now renowned for. Able to link up with Vandenberg. This is better by the Demons. Trend go back to Vandenberg. Not sure he wanted it back, as you said. One too many. Cleaner was Petrarca, but even he can't take it with him in the manner he would have liked. And McGlynn sees it out.
Now he's second cab off the rank. Rose has got a shot at it there, and he actually has to get underneath Rose to try and strike a foot at it. That's awful, and yeah, John Longmire would hate that because that's not team first.
Kennedy ripped it out of there, sends it deep to full forward again. Last minute lunge was effective from Jetta. Put the spoil on just when he needed it most.
Controlling it though.
James Rose has been the go-to man.
Well, he's so lively, isn't he? He's just about everywhere. He's run into any part of the forward line and he's increasing his opportunities.
Jetta was given a path to get it to the wing. Vandenberg a bit of a swing and a miss. Was that high on McGlynn?
He ducked into it.
He did.
McVeigh, and they're well placed again through Mills. Heaney or Rose can have a run at the ball. Good fist from McDonald.
Look at the numbers here.
Towers with the gather. Couldn't get it to Heaney. Hunt comes once. Now Rampy. A fumble initially.
Left footer.
Watts gets closer. Trying to fend. Couldn't. Was getting deeper and deeper into trouble. And the free kick is going the way of Jack Watts. Looking to move it. Had Dawes in the middle. Instead he goes out to the wing to Viney. A reliable path. Oh, they weren't on the same wavelength there, unfortunately, the D's. And they've turned it over. Kennedy feeding it back to Mills. Up and under. Rose from the side. Bit of a slap on McDonald.
Both umpires saw the same thing, simultaneously blew their whistles. Oh yeah, that's a good one across the chops.
Viney got Kennedy where he wanted. Towers found a way to get it to onto the boot. Now Kent sends it Hogan's way. He's in front of Aaliyah. Then he had to deal with McVeigh.
That's good. Well done, Jesse. Applauded his teammate for the work he just did to get it long to him. Gave him a shot, being a one-on-one. What he's got to do if McVeigh comes across like that, he's just got to recognise the 100-kilo forward. He's got to crash him over the boundary line so he doesn't want to get there again.
Parker and Jack. Stays in. And then creeps over the line and out of bounds. So it's still Sydney 5-11. 16 scoring shots to 5. The Demons 2-3.
McVeigh's been really good in terms of support. Aaliyah's playing his second game on. Jesse Hogan is the star.
Yep.
He's been really good in support.
Go on with the tap. Opportunity Vandenberg. Playing in front. Just couldn't drag it down. Big Chris Dawes. Hogan. Petrarca.
Every contest that comes in to Melbourne's forward line, you can see the Swans have just got one extra off the back all the time, just covering that back, and they're doing it really well. They know you just don't have to go 3 up in the pack like Melbourne have done up the other end.
It's McVeigh making that situation.
He does it, yeah, he's just a smart player.
Nick Smith down the line. Pump back over.
Did you notice that there? See, we're looking at the shot still. See how Hanbury's to the outside? Whenever they go down the line, they get, you know, numbers at the fall of the ball, but they also have the one furthest on the outside. And that, whether it goes to him straight away or eventually, that's a free kick going the other way, that player is able to deliver downfield. It's slow.
Yeah, well, he broke to that position where it was going to be hard to kick a goal anyway.
Well, that's where I like Bernie Vince, though. He has to go forward now. He's a smart player. He knows how to kick goals. They just need to get scores here, so just take that loose man in defence and go forward.
Good hit, Maxie.
Yeah, interior tap, hoping that Jones could do exactly what he did. Get it to Watts, who didn't rush. It opens up with a little pass. Now this is going to be tough for Max. There is Swans clambering all over him. Aaliyah.
Good hands.
The kick not quite as good, but safe enough. Towers got to his feet quickly. Grundy sends him out to the wing. Rose is well placed to take the mark. Looks down the ground. Heaney and Jones both as potential options. No real height to go to at this stage.
See if 2 Melbourne players go here, but no, that's better.
But it falls for Towers. And it really opens up too easily for him. And into the 50. Watts. He moved back there, slaps it away. Trengove, good assistance, they needed it. Disposed of McGlynn, who looks a bit sore after that.
I reckon he got one in the side of the head then, Hutto, when he charged into that. He might be out.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, he's up and... Yeah, he got one of the Cruet.
Sinclair. Vandenberg, though, maybe the Melbourne's advantage. Dawes Still hard to take those marks. Rampy, Kenty well not to give away a free. Indoors is able to get it to Oliver, and they're inside 50. It's a foot race. It's Nick Smith. Has a look over his shoulder. Petrarca, he's coming for you, Nick. He's got you on the top of the square. And the Demons might, yes, he did it, Petrarca. Did all the work and then finished it off.
Well, it was just strong. it was
Sweated on him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And he had to do that. He didn't want to rush at it because the player might go to ground. That's just a good kick, straight in line with goal. And the numbers here, it's a foot race, and you're always worried when you're a defender, Derm, how well that ball's going to bounce. And it didn't bounce. Just good pressure. They needed that goal to get back in.
Let's have a look at Benny McGlynn. Oh, yeah, shoulder to the head. Oh. Benny McGlynn might have been out for a second there, the way his head just...
Christian Petrarca's kicked 2/3 of Melbourne's goals. And they're back to within 20 points. Viney still trying his heart out in the middle. You can see the water on top of the ground make it so difficult. Dawes, fumble from Oliver. Jones for Bug. He steps inside. Big opportunity, Demons, to the square. Hogan worked his way to the front and did it really well. Didn't get it in the air. Got it on the ground, then lost it. Kennedy off the ground, had good support. Hewitt, Jones. It's not past yet, though. There's Demons lining up out there. Jetta try to get it for Gawn's advantage. Back to Nathan Jones. They're digging deep, the Demons. They're lining up. Stretch. Bernie Vince. Got plenty of the kick. Just the wrong side.
Having a good 3 or 4 minutes here, Melbourne. They've had 4 repeat entries with 2 centre bounce clearances.
Well, it's important to get reward for effort now, isn't it, Doom? They're 27 inside 50s and 3 goals. They need to start to cash in on some of these entries.
Margin at 19 as Jones sends it to half back. Frost
did well. Just quarterback.
The back, and then they all just evaporated. And he made the most of it with the run through, but not the kick at goal.
A lot of speed, hasn't he?
Oh, Frosty's quick. Yeah, he's genuinely quick for a 194-centimetre player.
Grundy brought it back into play to Nick Smith. Taking the safe route into the back pocket and then along the line. Nankervis is the tallest Swan there. Vince, Tyson. Away from Kennedy. Hanbury will give with the lightning hands. Parker got cleaned up, but he had great backup. Rose, Buddy looking for it. It didn't come where he was hoping.
Tom McDonald and Buddy Franklin waltz back to the goal square. Luke Parker, you just think conditions like today are made for Luke Parker. Strong body, great will.
Gawn gained 30 metres with the slap. Oliver, clean collect, but then Jones was able to get him and it could travel no further. Hanbury out flat on the ground. Came back to him almost. Vince.
Gee, that was good.
Gained another 45.
Gee, almost stood up in it there, Hutto.
He did. Petrarca did stand up the second time. Outstanding play by the youngster.
He's so powerful, isn't he? Christian Petrarca, Shorey, he's playing his 8th game, and he's just about Melbourne's strongest player physically.
No one certainty about him, Dermy. He'll never play basketball again in the off-season.
No, that didn't end well for him or Paul Roos, and the coach certainly let him know about it.
Holding Melbourne.
It's a couple of times Buddy's been penalised.
He's done well, McDonald.
Well, McDonald's getting the right starting position on him, and Lance is trying to cling on and claw on and toss him aside.
Well done, Nankervis on Gawn. Parker came, got what he came for, but the handball wasn't perfect. Vince with the counter thrust through the legs. Kennedy's found the going tough today of Melbourne. Hewitt picked up the ball, knew it was coming. He's trying to knee his way over the boundary line.
He was looking for the go-to drop the knees there, Georgie Hewitt, but they were a wake-up to him.
Just crawling over towards the boundary line, and some respite for the players.
Maxie starting from outside.
A goal each in this quarter. 1-3 for Sydney, 1-2 for Melbourne. An 18-point deficit facing Melbourne right now. Bug.
Good hands.
Trengove got it to young Hunt, and the smother from Lloyd was outstanding.
That's a wonderful smother, isn't it? And the thing is, if you just rush your kick, because they're so attuned to smothering it, the smother actually is a great gain on meterage as well.
Play on. No easy exit from a stoppage like that. Look at Kennedy just trying to pull his way through. And yeah, it was clean, sharp hands from Trengove. Tyson couldn't take advantage. Watts shows them how. Lovely little snare and then kick back to the wing. Hogan used the knees well, slides in, looks further afield. Dawes is running back towards the 50. He's petitioning someone to come up and give him one sort of option. Either way, it's an in-between kick. Grundy got a fist to it. At the back, Kennedy of Melbourne. A handball for Oliver. Next in line, Kent. Just tried to charge through. Jones, same tactics. Now it's Kennedy of Sydney. He'll get there first. Wagner in pursuit. Tried to go off the ground, had a swing and a miss. Still can't get clean disposal, Kennedy. But now he does. He was patient. He's chipped the ball just into the patch there with no one, hoping that someone from his team could run on. Rowan did his best. Hunt, though, was able to stand up, but he was closing.
Back, Melbourne! Me. Play on!
Delayed advantage, everyone press pause, and now Viney takes it. Deep kick, Kennedy well placed, no mark, it's Petrarca again. Held without the ball just momentarily. Goes again, the young man. Jones, they're careful not to infringe. Petrarca dumps him. Petrarca from the boundary line. And over on the full.
That was well umpired by the umpire. It wasn't the umpire's fault. I mean, it was a natural progression of play. It's not as if the ball got killed in its motion. It was still flowing forward. That was the player's fault that they stopped playing.
What happened here is he played on outside.
He played on, handball through the posts.
Look at Johnny Longway. He's got to think Alair needs to know the rules.
He's got two hands over the mouth. That could mean they're pretty serious mutterings from the coach. Melbourne's threatening here. Tyson did his best. Kent. Parker. It's not out yet. Still very dangerous position.
A couple of alter egos of superheroes there, Kent and Parker.
Oliver. Smith. Oliver again. Easy to give away a needless free in these circumstances. The numbers continue to multiply. Glut of players around the ball.
Thank you.
Still 18 points the difference.
Thank you.
Mills to Grundy. And there's some territory gained. The danger not passed, but eased. And McVeigh, similar tactics. How's the umpire going to read this? Rowan was close to it. And hence the throw-in.
Very smart. He knew he didn't want to belt that ball off the ground then. He just tried to position him, make him look like he was going to run onto it again.
16 disposal. He's going to 88% efficiency in this weather. It's unbelievable.
Towers for Mitchell. Protection required. Kennedy just tapped it rather than grabbed it. Hanbury found a way to manoeuvre himself into the action. The fumble costing Jack. No free kick for the hot contact that might have been momentarily high. Sinclair skies it back. Nankervis coming late again. He loves it. Trying to capsize a pack or two.
Good hands by Chris Dawes from ground level.
McDonald wary of Buddy, and Dawes needs to mark this. Drew the free. Dawes quickly passing it off to Wagner. Challenging one here for Petrarca. Tough on the wing, especially with someone like Rampy bearing down. Takes it to the line. And over. John Longway's just easing the hand off the mouth a little bit. That's his go-to position, I think, right now. Not a lot the coaches can do. Players are out there in conditions like this. Hanbury back for Mitchell. Up to half forward, and it just goes over the head of Nankervis. McDonald again. Oh, a fumble by Oscar. And Gary Rowan hoping to capitalise on that. Kieran Jack comes to his aid. Franklin was the core of another attack for the Swans, and Buddy takes the mark.
Just going to say, Hutto, he needs to lift because I was thinking just that Tom McDonald got on top of him. I know he's kicked the 2 goals. That was a great centre by Kieran Jack.
Line's good, Lance.
Career set shots. 49 goals from this position, too.
Well, it takes into account the one he missed in the second quarter down the other end because he was 17 to the side.
He does love this side of the ground. He loves this spot, being able to kick from 50. Maybe he was a little bit close for him. No, it swings back, and that's his third, Buddy Franklin.
Well, you look up the other end, Derm, and you think you need a key forward to stand up who doesn't normally do it in the air. Who was going to do it? And I don't think Dawes and I don't think Hogan have got the ability this man has got at ground level and the agility to turn players around. But that's a fantastic lead. Good mark under pressure, and you need to finish in these where they're worth. It's worth gold to have the goals on these days.
Beautiful finish from Lance Franklin, and he's so mobile. That's what's getting him those types of shots at the goal. He's up level with Josh Kennedy now, and he's got 1/4 and 6 minutes to try and creep ahead in the Coleman medal.
6, his biggest haul against the Demons back in 2008. There is the race for the Coleman.
Straight back, hold the meter.
Getting close to 50 goals at the top of the Coleman.
Holding, Sydney, back here. Holding your arm, no, Kelly, no! Here.
And Hannonbury ready to pounce and get the receive.
You.
Fooled everyone.
Oh, did he what?
Looked like he was labouring.
He was holding his ribs.
Careful kick from Vandenberg, and they're going back into attack. Just got to plot a path that can get them in a position to kick a goal, Melbourne. Watts, Kent waits down. Viney charged through, spurring into the pack. Smith sends it out. Back to the wing. Parker flies. Over the top, Watts again. Saw off one, not the second. No tackle, the umpire deems. Tyson for Kent. Hard to handle. Big Max. Sinclair, they're getting further away from their own goal, Sydney, and closer to Melbourne's.
Play on side. Play on.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in this third term. Did Nathan Jones cop one then? Bug. Try handling the ball cleanly in that. Squirts out, literally.
Oh, good play by Rowan off the ball then.
Lloyd further along. McLean cleared the path. A big Toby Nankervis. The big fella maybe just tried to be a little bit too glamorous. Hunt to centre half forward. Big intersection this one. Parker one way. Petrarca the other. Able to feed the handball off to Vandenberg, and now Watts into the middle. A little shake from Bernie. It's deep. Into the pocket. Lunging out of doors, and Grundy had it covered. Is it deliberate?
Oh, no.
It is.
Well, can you tell me what he's...
I'm still of the opinion, Shorey, you're allowed to knock the ball away from your opponent.
Well, he was there.
And sometimes that knock's going to go over the boundary line.
He might have just thought, well, the umpire's got to think, has he got any other option? Could he have grabbed it? Yeah.
It's getting to the stage where you need to knock it away from your opponent, but you have to try and keep it in play.
And that's the rule.
Tough kick.
Very tough kick on a day like today. Chris Dawes can't execute the way he would have liked. And Melbourne's issues in that forward line continue.
Well, let's have a look. Did he have an... Oh, gee, he was holding it. He had Dawes, his hands on his... Yeah, no, you probably got to go that way. I'll go with the umpire on that one, Durr. Grab it, get tackled and holding the ball instead of intentional.
McVeigh just looking for the dab kick. Good pace shown again. Georgie Hewitt managed to escape and link up with Jones. Promising build-up. Unfortunately, the kick is wide, and Hunt sliding in to take the mark.
The fact that Hewitt took them on with his foot pace then...
Might have been Towers, actually.
Was it? Well,
yeah.
Well, it means that the ball's 100 metres down the line. That was so well done by him.
Now, Jones feeds it back to Tyson. Hunt had to wear one. The Swans edging closer to goal. McLean.
High ball. Let go. Thank you. Up. Go.
Whoa.
He actually went almost like he accelerated once he...
Well, he did.
Bang.
Couldn't stop.
Because he turned onto his back.
So dangerous, isn't it, on a day like today? Towers got it down.
Play on.
Via Hanbury. Well, that looked like a throw from where we were. Heaney, full rotation. McDonald trudging after it.
He got one in the hip there. Is it Tom McDonald? Just grabbing at the hip there, just near the point post. Oscar?
Oscar, yep. It'll be Hunt's ball. Back out of 50. Margin still at 23. Melbourne kicked just one goal this quarter, one in each of the quarters.
A little bit of a task there, Hutto. 24 points at this stage of the game. They're 23 points down. So, you know, I think they've got to get some ball over the back. The Swans are playing so well in their defence of getting a player always behind the line.
Almost double them in tackles. The Swans, 121 tackles.
Too high, Sydney.
So what you're saying is to push them up a bit, sure.
Yeah,
and you want to sprint back over. The only problem is you've got...
They keep dropping back.
You've got two out of your 6 forwards
too tall.
Dawes and Hogan, who are pretty lumbering and slow.
But Hogan plays behind the ball really well. He reads the ball well.
Mills won that little battle. Teeing up Jones, and now Lloyd to half forward. They come from every angle for it. Through Frost at the back, Jetta as the insurance, and now Hunt with that dash.
Well done. Well done.
Got clear. He didn't like what was ahead, so he handballed, and he'll be questioning the wisdom of that, or the execution at least. McVeigh back through the middle again. Now Rose finds himself forward of centre. Tried to shape the kick down the line for Heaney. Can't get a look at it. Now he has. His patience was rewarded. McGlynn has kicked that reasonably aimlessly, but you forgive him on a day like today. Rose got back, and it was not dead yet. Out of there from Frost. Jack, this is Dawes. Got past everyone. Dawes recovering well, but Grundy refused to be passed. And out on the wing, Dawes positioned himself nicely. Gawn, Tyson, little pass for Jones. It's going to sneak away from him, though. Hanbury wading back through. And they're down to the last minute and a half. And the Swans relentless in their effort to full forward. The fist is on. Towers has had a big day, looking for his second. And coming mighty close.
Little wins out on the wing, turn the ball around. A little win for Sydney was when the ball gets kicked to Nathan Jones by Tyson. It misses by a metre, and as you called, it sneaks away from him, and that's where it breaks down. They've got to be either long with no option of ever turning it over, or hit the target.
Trengove timely again. Watts is trying to lift his team. Biney the half forward. Kennedy in front, McVeigh. With all his guile and experience. And a commanding performance across half back from Jared McVeigh. Linked up with Kennedy to help them get the ball out to the wing. And young Rose first to it. And the fin was successful. Swatted the bargain, kicked the half forward. McGlynn on the path to goal was tempted.
He was ahead of the mark.
Great running.
Stopped, then went again.
Great running by McGlynn from the half-back line then.
That is absolutely precise umpiring. He's spot on.
Sinclair wants it deep. McGlynn tries to oblige. Everyone up, no one down. The ball squirts through for a minor score.
So Chris Donlan was the umpire then. He took them stopped, but them in mind. But he decided to play on, so you cannot allow that to go on.
Hunt put his faith in Tom McDonald. Clever enough there from Tyson to get it away. It's good early body work by Rampy. Petrarca not happy with himself. Frustrated that he was nudged out of it. But another professional quarter from this very professional team, the Sydney Swans. They were able to edge out the Demons, the best that Melbourne could throw at them. And it was only 1-3 for Melbourne for the quarter. The Swans 2-5. Their lead increases to 25. Tough afternoon for all here at the SCG. It's the Swans by just over 4 goals.